Yeah, that's a weird thing to me. I'm not against college. I don't like it. I never went.
Yeah.
I didn't like school at all. But and clearly you don't need a college education to get ahead. But truly, there are some personalities that just won't do what we
Sure.
do.
No.
It's just not. It is not inherent within them to because it's such a massive risk. And there are some personalities that all they crave is stability and permanence and systems and structure but when you become an entrepreneur, all of that stuff is gone.
Right.
I mean, you can have a game plan, you can have a mission and vision and purpose statement, you can have a marketing plan, you can have a goal chart, you can have all those things, which gives you a kind of structure. But day to day, as an entrepreneur, you are building something that is constantly in flux. And if you don't ebb and flow with the way things are going, you will die. And that is so scary for some people. And there's something about their personality that they can't do that. And so I don't knock them for that. I mean, that's just who they are.
Right. But those are the people who are working for you, making $8,000 a month.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and so there's still an opportunity for somebody.
Well, there is, and I mean, like I even think about some of the people that Craig has hired who've been with him. I've known them for 17 years now. They're still with him. Multiple people that he's got working for him because he treats them well. Which is I mirror how I treat my people the way I've watched Craig. He treats them well, pays them well. He goes above and beyond for them if they need something, and he gives them the environment that they need, and those kinds of people help. They're the fundamentals. They're the foundation of your business.
Yeah.
And I mean it's how it works.
I think about just like you invested in me and the opportunity to invest in other people. And there are people that I've tried to invest in that you can tell they obviously have skill and they have talents, but they fall short in that area with I don't know if it's the drive that it takes to every day go 15 hours a day, you know what I mean, for 2 years until you get done. I mean, it's literally what it seems to take.
Yeah.
But I've noticed if you'll put the effort in for a year or two, you'll start seeing some serious rewards out of it.
Yeah, it's hiring is a weird thing. Nearly no one knows how to do it correctly, at least. Most people do what Craig calls the breath test. They get a mirror and they go, you breathe, you're hired.
Yeah.
And the problem with that is you don't know if you're hiring someone who has the right capabilities for that particular position, and is their disposition geared towards that environment, those tasks, and those kinds of things. And I remember going to a Keller Williams class called Recruit Select years ago. I went with Craig, and they went through the hiring process, and it was a 2-day course. And I thought, oh my God, this is crazy, all this stuff that has to go into hiring. But they're right. I mean, there is so much that goes into hiring and training and managing someone. And that's why, like when I talk with agents, single agents, teams or groups, and they're like, well, we're thinking about hiring someone in-house. I'm like, okay, you can do that. But the problem is you have to hire the right person, which you probably don't know how to do.
Right.
You have to train that person. Is that your 20%?
Right.
Is training that person?
Right.
And you have to manage that person. Because I can guarantee you that an employee is not going to have an ownership mentality.
Right.
They're collecting a paycheck. So when you're not there, they're probably on Facebook, they're Snapchatting or doing selfies or whatever. I mean, and until I learned how to hire, I went through some of that. I had one of those ladies who stole from me. And I had another lady who stole a few $1,000s from me because I didn't know what I was doing until I learned how. And the crazy thing about my company is we're plug and play. You take someone and just plug them right into your business. And it alleviates employee taxes. There's no hiring, there's no training, there's no managing, there's none of that stuff. And the systems that we have in place, I guarantee you, are heads and tails above what any agent's going to spend the time putting
I
together.
remember working for you, and I remember the step-by-step checklist that I had to go through of probably 30. It's probably grown since then.
Yeah, right now it's a 52-point checklist.
Yeah, it was like 30 at the time, and and so the how detailed you are, even with little things that people don't know that they would think doesn't matter. Where you have your own back-end website, but you have a house photo up there.
Yep.
For you, it's a quick reference, and you can see that house. You make a connection with it. Agents don't know those small little things that you do in-house that helps for your staff to have knowledge, of what's going on with them. And it's just a fantastic system, and I'm sure it's even better than it was when I was working for you. Obviously, it has grown to this point.
Yeah, it's crazy now, man.
If your company growing at the rate it is, you're obviously going to have to keep hiring more people as you go along.
Yeah, it's weird. I get 3 to 4 applicants for my company a week.
Wow.
And
that's crazy.
It's humbling to me because I'll have someone reach out to me who has worked for some of the largest groups in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, hey, I've heard about your company. I've worked with you on several transactions. I'm wondering if you have any room in your company. I'd really like to. And I get those and I'm like, dude, people are seeing something in my company
mm-hmm.
all over Texas that I sometimes forget about.
Yeah.
And they want to work for.
They want to be a part of it.
Yeah, man, that's a trip. That's a really humbling thing. And
yeah.
I just got one last night actually. A girl reached out to me, and I'm supposed to talk to her today at 3:30. Who is highly qualified. I'm actually really excited about talking to her. But yeah, it's a trip, man. I mean, this thing that I have built is by the end of next year, I will have at least 10 transaction managers, at least.
Wow.
By the end of next year, and probably even far more than that, maybe 15. And I mean, each of these girls are going to be doing 40 to 50 transactions a piece, and they're going to be able to take care of their families and have retirement and own their own business. I mean, it's literally their own business.
Yeah.
I help them grow it, and I manage them, and I give them the systems, and I do these things for them. But I mean, the work is up to them.
Mm-hmm.
And they get to watch themselves do something and be a part of that, and in 6 months look back and go, wow, I mean, Dustin gave me the shot, but I did that.
Right. Yeah.
And that's just cool.
So with that many people coming to you every single week, you obviously can't hire 20 people a month. You have to funnel through these. What exactly are you looking for? What do you expect these people to have? Because it's more than just I worked for the biggest company. Does your personality work?
Yeah, so I've got 2 or 3 transaction managers who knew nothing about contract to close, but I saw something in them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't so much look at a resume and ooh, you impressed me and blew smoke up my skirt. And now
right.
I'm like, I've got to have you. I don't really care about that. I can meet a person, and when I talk to them, I can tell if they've got the integrity. Integrity is a huge thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be able to tell if they've got the drive, the mental fortitude to pick things up at a rapid rate.
Right.
And then I always give them the disc test just to kind of see what their disc is and if they're even good. Because if you get someone who is all S or C,
mm-hmm.
they will never be good at contract.
And for people that don't know what the disc test is.
So the disc is a basic personality profile. It's DISC. The D is a super dominant personality. I am over 99% D, driven, dominant, just aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
Very goal driven and task oriented. I's are influencers. They're social butterflies. They have a deep concern for people. S's are very systematic and stable people, and then C's are very compliant. That's kind of the key word for them.
Mm-hmm.
S's and C's are similar in a lot of ways, but very high S's and very high C's who don't have any I or D in them have a very hard time with day-to-day relationships because they're just so office task oriented. And so if you hire someone who is all S and C, and they start having to deal with lenders and angry agents and clients who are confused, and and all these things that happen in a transaction, they short circuit.
Yeah.
And I hired someone who was an Esser, and it lasted about 2 months, and they were like, "This job sucks."
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
It's the details is what they're good at with the paperwork, and I've been there, man.
Yeah.
But then they have to start dealing with, and it's not easy. You know, a lot of times, you know, you're dealing with issues that are out of your control. You know,
Yes.
and things that they're being yelled at your staff for something maybe they didn't do.
Yeah, I don't know how many times I've told people you have to wear a shirt that says Everlast because you're the punching bag.
Yeah.
And you just take it.
Yeah.
You know?
And you're representing those clients in the end.
Yep.
And
The agent. I mean, I want, and that's where I fail sometimes is my agents will come to me and they're like, "Dustin, pull the reins, man. Your D is coming out." When I deal with a lender who I know is being dishonest or they're not communicating, that D comes out and you'll start to see what they call bulldog. My agents will call it bulldog mode. And they're like, "Pull the reins back, man. That bulldog is coming way too out." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry." You know, because I am representing the agent.
you are, yeah.
And
you've invested yourself a long time in
yes,
this.
yeah. And so the people that I'm hiring, none of them are high Ds. Not one.
Wow.
Their D is above the midline, but it's low.
Right. Yeah, but it's enough to keep them motivated,
Yep. Yeah.
self-motivated, because
Yep.
that's what it takes. You have to be
It is.
self-motivated.
Yep.
You have to be able to just look at your bank account and that be enough for you to
Yeah.
go, let's hustle and get this done. If not, man, you know, you can't rely on the work to just come because it
Yeah,
won't.
I mean, this is something you'll know, and every agent who watches this will know. When you get into business for yourself, you wake up and no one tells you to go to work.
Yeah.
No one tells you when to go to work, how to go to work,
Yeah.
what to do. And if you're not self-motivated to do those things, you will die in any sort of an entrepreneurial
Yeah.
industry.
It's easy at your own home to sit on the couch and just watch TV or Netflix all day. I mean,
Yep.
It's super easy to do.
Man, and
And get
that's
complacent.
yeah, and that's something that for some reason I'm very lucky. I am so driven. I mean, I get up at 4 o'clock every single day. I'm at the gym by 5, and I'm working by 7:30.
Yeah, but I would say for you, there's two things. One is prison that you already talked about that probably helped with that. But the other one that people might not know is you were in the military for a while.
Yeah,
And that
yeah.
military stint also, those two things, even though you fought them the whole time,
Yeah, I did fight them the whole time.
they forced in disciplines to you
Yeah.
that you wouldn't have had on your own.
Yeah, disciplines and habits and the understanding of value in being driven and self-motivated and yeah, there was a lot of good things I learned. I mean, I was probably the worst. They probably hated me by the end of that thing because I fought it the whole way because I just don't like authority. But I mean, it was a good experience.
Yeah. And it helped you. I mean, to this day, you still wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
working out before you even hit the computer, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, those patterns stay with you for a long time. I think it's fantastic. So, anything else we got to say today?
No,
It's been a good conversation, man. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed sitting and talking with you. The coffee is really good, and it's black coffee. I usually put hazelnut cream or something in there. Don't call me a girl. Yeah,
to each their own.
that's all right.
Yeah.
I married a Hispanic woman. She's sweet.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think that's good, man. Yeah, I want people to. My big thing is I want people to be successful, and so if I work with an agent and what I do doesn't work for them, they will literally get a phone call or an email from me that says, "Hey, I just don't think this is what you need. My goal is for you to be successful, and I don't think I'm helping be a part of that.
Mhm.
So let's part ways as friends." I mean, I've had a lot of those conversations.
Yeah.
And I want the agents that I'm working with to feel like I'm helping them be successful. I want the clients that we represent via the agent, I want them to feel like they're having a successful transaction. And I want the people that I work with and that are employed by me to feel like they're a part of something successful. I got all the checks for all of my transaction managers get mailed to one place. And so I see a lot of times these notes that they get. And one of my newer transaction managers, Corey, she's awesome. she got a note from the agent that's with her check that said, it was something like, "Thank you so much. I couldn't have done this without you, and my clients loved you."
Wow.
And man, I get
And
stuff
they've
like,
never physically met her at all.
never met him. Just
customer service.
Because she is such a part of the transaction. And I get stuff like that, and I'll post it on Facebook immediately. And I told her, I said, I'm about to post something that's going to make you smile, because that is the kind of person I want working for me.
Yeah.
When I get stuff like that, I go, I made the right hire.
Yeah.